Okay, so today we're going to show you how to make a shell texture. First thing you want to do is load up the texture that you want to turn into a fluffy shell. And we're going to go down to the transparency and turn it on. Now you do have to have the add-on that gives you a little extra transparency controls for paint.net. But once we make it fully opaque, you'll notice that the alpha channels have gone away and that the black has come in. The next thing we're going to do is start creating extra layers. So we're going to Control A and then Control C and copy this entire image and paste it into layer 2. Then we're going to make a third layer. Now on that layer, we're going to make it medium gray. So let's get the colors open and we'll select the medium gray. That's the one that's 128, 128, 128 all down the line. And we're just going to paint that over with a really big paintbrush to make the entire layer gray. Once it's gray, we go to effects and we add noise. Just crank the noise up all the way, or you can leave it at 64, but I like cranking it up all the way, and make sure and turn the color saturation all the way down so it's just black and white and gray. Then we're going to Control A and copy that and delete the layer, and then we're going to go up to effects, object, and we're going to paste it into the alpha channel. That will make it transparent or partially transparent depending on the color of the noise that goes onto each pixel. Then we'll select the bottom farthest background and we're going to turn up the brightness. This is so that we can see it more easily through the partially transparent layer above it. Now we need to erase the things that we don't want to be fluffy. We don't want a dog with fluffy paws or the bottom of his paws or teeth or tongue or eyeball or anything like that. So one thing I do is I turn the hardness down and I turn the opacity down. This way, the farther away it is from the center of your circle, the less it will erase. And then by turning the opacity down, it erases less. Now you could just erase it and then click again and erase it and click again if you want to just really make it invisible. So the bottom of the feet needs to be totally invisible. That way they're not fluffy at all. Dog pads are not fluffy. Just go ahead and get all these feet. And I don't know what this pink thing is, but typically things that are pink on a dog are not fluffy. Uh, Probably a tongue, could be inside of the mouth. Let's go ahead and turn the opacity for the eraser all the way up. That way we just completely erase that. There will be no fluffiness in here. Just got to trace around it and then fill it in. Make sure and cover the whole thing. And see, there we go. There's some teeth. Dogs don't have fluffy teeth. Now, don't worry if you go outside the mouth a little bit. That's why we have the hardness turned down. It'll be more of a fade than a sharp line. And the bigger you make your circle, then the more the fade happens. And you can use that for stuff like the face if you don't want the face to be too fluffy. Let's go ahead and get these eyes. We don't want fur sticking out through the eyes. And I'll do that. And there's eye number 2. Now, we also don't want the dog to have a fluffy nose or lips, so let's get up here and do the nose. Make sure and go around the lips. And here's some more eyeball. Definitely don't have fluffy eyeballs. Go ahead and bump up the size of that circle, I'm thinking. There we go. Just get all this, whatever all this pink stuff is around the eyeball. And then this is the inside of the mouth. That's the other side of the mouth, top of the mouth, maybe. Maybe that's the bottom. Who knows? Okay. Now let's see here. Now, typically on the legs and the tops of the feet, you want to make sure that those have kind of a fade. So in order to fade that, what we're going to do is we're going to lower the opacity for the eraser. See, there's a foot. You can see it in there to about half. And then we'll start at the foot and work our way back up the leg. Just go up there a little bit. Let the low hardness take care of that, but then come back down and do the foot again to make the fur even shorter there. So start at the foot, work up the leg, then come back and get the foot again just to make sure that you've got a nice fade. Let's see. There. Yeah, that looks like another paw right down there. Back up the leg a little, and then get the foot. And that must mean that this is the other foot. Back up the leg and get the foot. Now, the other thing you'll want to do is in those black spots, you're going to want to make sure and clean those all out. This is just to show you kind of how it's done. But once everything is deleted, the last step is to delete the bottom layer. With the bottom layer deleted, now you're just left with your shell texture. So we'll go ahead and save it. We're going to want to make sure that it's a direct draw surface. We're going to give it the underscore shell at the end to keep it separate from the regular texture file. You can use BC7 compression. That's perfectly fine. And there you go. That's how you make a shell texture. Now it is important to go ahead and get those black spots. The first thing we did was we turned up the opacity so that we could see them. I didn't bother deleting them, but it is kind of a thing that does need to be done. Otherwise, you'll have fur where it should be nothing. It should be invisible. This particular model, I know it has parts that hang off of it that are like extra furry spots. But that's how I made all my textures. You can see them. Let's see. Let's go to Skyrim folder. Let's go to data, textures. There's textures. Textures. And then we'll go to Dovahkiin dogs. And here are all the little various dog textures I've made already in the past. There's a beagle. You can see how it's mostly transparent, but it has spots that are completely transparent. Here's a German Shepherd dog. Whenever that decides to load. There you go. You see the eyes, the nose, they're all wiped out. Here's a better German Shepherd dog. So as you can see, the textures are mostly transparent. Anyway, that's a quick tutorial. Hope you'll have a good day.